Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Lakers have the Jazz tonight again. We played them in the last matchup in a 132 to 113 win for the Lakers at home. Luka Doncic's debut went very well. Needless to say, given the score, and yeah, we got to see the same team in their house tonight. 48 hours later. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So there's no need to go into the history of the Utah Jazz. If you want to see me go through that process, just check out the last pregame video, copy and paste, same thing. The Jazz are a struggling basketball team right now, although they have some players that are playing very well, so we need to be careful and be aware, particularly of them on the offensive rebounding side of the game. They did have 11 in the last one. We beat them on the boards 44-39. But I do think some of the personnel will be a little different tonight because the injury report tells us so. And I will update my phone so it'll give me that information while I sit here and filibuster. But at the end of the day, the Los Angeles Lakers are just running into a Utah Jazz team that's just not – they're not playing their best ball, I think it's safe to say. And because of it, you do expect that this is a trap game. A trap game as in if you don't show up or if you think you can, just because you're taking – a night off that they're going to do it as well. No, they're not. They're likely going to want to win this game. And they do have played pretty better at home, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They've played better at home than they have on the road. Some of those games and highlights stood out. We're in their building. They had a game against the Phoenix Suns that went into overtime. So they're more than capable of playing well. And if we take them lightly, they may do so tonight. So the injury report for the Lakers has it so that we have a game-time decision for Luka, game-time decision for Bron, game-time decision for Bronny, Maxi Kleber, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Reddish, and Gabe Vincent are all out, and it says Austin Reeves is also a game-time decision. So basically half the team literally could potentially miss this game, and if that's the case, I would tell the Lakers, make it up in your mind that you're comfortable with this being a loss. Even though you expect to win even without your players, don't be blindsided by a loss here. That's all I'm saying. Don't be blindsided. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to sit this many people, or if you're trying to pregame it for the All-Star game, and you take a team lightly in this league, we've already lost several games this season doing so. We've learned that lesson many times. And, when you consider how bad our loss was against Philadelphia without their stars, you consider how bad our loss was against Dallas without their stars. This is not a night to just take an NBA team lightly when the Utah Jazz only have 2 players on their injury report. Colin Sexton will not play. Taylor Hendricks will not play. The rest of their team is down there. Markkanen, George, all of these guys that they have on their team is going to be there. Clarkson, Collier, Markkanen, John Collins, Walker Kessler. This is a very solid starting lineup that they have. So that they're not trying to win basketball games. They've already dropped the game purposefully against us, in my opinion, when they called a timeout on the Colin Sexton layup. I don't know that they're going to want to just get swept just for the sake of the fact that this is a proud franchise and they have history with us. A lot of playoff history in the 90s and early 2000s with us. And so I wouldn't rule out them wanting to win this game. I wouldn't rule out them wanting to go into the All-Star break with good momentum. And we're on a hell of a winning streak that we should not take for granted going into the All-Star break ourselves. We have seeding that we're trying to fight for. So every win counts. Every loss hurts. And tonight, I would say taking it as serious as possible will ease a lot of concern come the end of the season when we have games like back-to-back OKC in Dallas, in Houston, back-to-backs with Bucks and Denver a week apart, like that type of thing. We got to understand that our schedule is about to get rough, and right now is the last of the softness of it. We got this game, we got Houston, Charlotte when we come back from the All-Star break, you got the Blazers, and then it gets into what it's going to be, which is tough from there on out. So this game is extremely important because some of those games that you're going to need to win at the end of the season to keep your seeding, to keep home court advantage, since we're technically in 4th place right now, is going to be determined by how many games you captured, such as this one. So, for all of the intentions of checking out early and scheduled losses, we saw what scheduling losses did to our seeding last year. We lost some games we weren't supposed to lose, and we scheduled some losses purposefully, not playing everybody, resting people, only to find ourselves running into Denver without home court advantage and being outed. We can't let that happen this season. We need to understand that these games are very much important because they ease the tension of what happens at the end of the season when you're fighting tooth and nails to stay out of the play-in tournament and playing tough teams. So this is an urgent game to win because it's one that you should. And it's also one that you're expected to take your foot off the gas mentally, and that'll have you struggling at the end of the season for whatever it is you're trying to fight for. I just know better. This season is meant for us to win games like this because you may not get a single win in a back-to-back against OKC at the end with only like 4 games left. So if you don't want to have to struggle, you definitely go into Utah with a serious mindset, and you continue dominating a team that you just dominated at home 2 nights ago. So that's really the thought. You know, we're looking at the Utah Jazz. They've lost 4 out of 5, but they have had some tough games not go their way. That Phoenix game, you know, that could have went either way. They beat the Warriors because the Warriors didn't have all that they needed out there. Shot poorly. They beat them. Had a 1-point loss against the Pacers where they basically outplayed the Pacers. They've already outplayed us once this season in the layup timeout game. I just don't want to take this team lightly and find ourselves dropping this game, going in, snapping our winning streak, going into the All-Star break. It's just not. This isn't light. When you're fighting for seeding as hard as we're already trying to fight, then you can't have no games that you're just comfortable with losing. It's just a misguided way of approaching being a win now basketball team. So that's really what it is, man. We are definitely that. We've got Luka Doncic in the house. We believe that we have a championship opportunity. I don't know that we can win it, but we certainly should do everything we can to ensure that we have home court advantage in the first round, especially if we're going to play against a team like the Clippers or Houston or Minnesota, whoever gets that 5th spot. You do not want to have to go against them going into their building. You do not want that. So that's what I'm hoping we're fighting for. We currently have that. We are 32-19. Houston Rockets are 33-20 behind us. The Denver Nuggets are 35-19 ahead of us on a hell of a winning streak themselves. Doesn't look like they're going to drop games anytime soon. They're trying to push Memphis for the 2 spot. So Denver understands the urgency. They know what they need to do to assure they have home court advantage against teams like us. And they're pushing for it. So I'd say that it would be wise for us to do the same. OKC has a 6-game cushion, I believe this is. 7.5-game cushion with 1. So they're not going to relinquish that, I don't believe at all. But 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down to 10 is pretty much up for grabs. So we need to not take anything lightly. And some of those teams behind 10 are going to push up too. Phoenix, San Antonio, they got better. Golden State, those teams are better right now than they started the season as. And we need to understand that there's going to be more pressure on each of these teams to win games like this. So that's my urgency. I don't want to drop this game. I understand that we want to rest some people. I understand that we got new players. I understand all of that. A lot of things going on. Trades getting reneged. A lot. But at the end of the day, we're still in the midst of a battle for seeding. And that battle is not going to relinquish at any point. No point throughout the rest of the season is that going to be okay that you can just drop a game or 2. Nah, you don't want to do that. It could be the difference between having home court advantage for us or not. So we need to come in with a winning mentality. And all these players on the injured list, some of them game time decisions, y'all need to go ahead and run. Suit up. Suit up. You're going to have a whole week off. Only one person on this team is playing an all-star game. That's LeBron James. If he misses this game, I don't blame him because he does have that rib thing that happened at the end of the last game. I feel comfortable with that. But like Austin Reeves and some of these other dudes, y'all got to play, man. I would say that Luka needs to get in shape. I'm going to be the guy that says that. I don't think he should be missing too many games. He's not playing an all-star game this year. He should probably play tonight. He needs that. And he should be very intentional on letting his body heal because he doesn't have the greatest history of allowing himself to heal. He said that himself. He always played through injuries. We want him to heal through what he's got going on right now. We do not want his calf to turn into an Achilles, but we also understand that more reps is going to get him in better shape, not necessarily resting anymore. He's been out since Christmas. He probably should play. This ain't a back-to-back. He had yesterday off. He should probably play. So, yeah, that's what I got to say. That's my thoughts, man. Like I said, if y'all want to see what's going on with the Utah Jazz in depth, I broke that down in the last video pregame for this same team. I just don't see the purpose in doing that. I don't see it. But what I can say is we're not taking them lightly. We know exactly what they have on their roster, and we can discuss some of those players. John Collins, obviously a severe lob threat, had a really good game against us in a losing effort. He had 17 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks, 1 block, and 2 steals, although we were able to turn him over 5 times. But him shooting 50% from both the field and the three, I'd imagine he's going to shoot more tonight, trying to take advantage of what looks like a soft matchup for him, going up against guys like Rui. Obviously, without Dorian tonight, you would expect John Collins and Markkanen specifically to try to attack tonight. Filipowski, 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from behind the arc, 10 minutes. Maybe Utah gives him more minutes tonight since he had success against us. Johnny Juzang shot very well in the last one, 4 of 8 from the field, 3 of 7 from behind the arc. Keontae George had a very poor game. Keontae George is not somebody I expect to have 2 poor games in a row, especially against the same defense. So I expect for Keontae George at home to play much better, and he's going to be very involved. He had 5 turnovers in the last one. He's going to turn the ball over more than most for whatever reason. That's just a weakness of his. We need to continue to try to put pressure on him, turn him over tonight. So, Micah Potter, somebody they've been using. He had a pretty good game a few nights ago. He had 5 minutes against us. Maybe they give him more tonight. Bryce Sensabaugh is starting to get some minutes. 12 minutes in the last game. Didn't do a whole lot, but he's definitely a microwave scorer with a huge body. I think he's going to turn into something, so be careful with him. Jordan Clarkson had a bad game against the Lakers in our building. Clearly he's going to want to play better tonight. Isaiah Collier, a double-double with assists. Every night he's getting like 10, 11 assists every night. I don't expect this to be any different. He's just a very good playmaker with a lot of speed driving at the rim. I'd expect for him to get to the line more in this one. So be aware of him. And Markkanen having a bad shooting night against the Lakers on the road. I don't know that continues at home. He was 1 of 8 in our building. I don't see him having an off night tonight. I would be very, very concerned that he's going to try to shoot his way out of that and ultimately have a hot night tonight. It wouldn't shock me at all. He's that kind of shooter. And Walker Kessler, 5 offensive rebounds, 12 boards in total. I know we picked up Alex Len. I do not know if he'll be available tonight. Welcome to LA, Alex Len. The size is going to be important in this situation. We need to rebound the ball better with our center position just in general, but especially against a guy like Walker Kessler who's been rebounding the ball at an all-star rate over the last couple of weeks. So if anybody needs to be circled on the board as somebody who could potentially upset us tonight, it's Walker Kessler, doing all of the things that he does on the boards and ultimately blocking shots as he is prone to do as well at an extremely high level. So I have a lot of respect for their team, man. George, Sensabaugh, Filipowski, Collier, Clarkson, Kessler, Markkanen, Collins, all of those people are to be taken very seriously. Juzang's been playing better as well. He had a big game against us, as we already mentioned. Probably should be taken seriously. You know what I mean? So that's really what it is. They don't have a bad team. They just have an agenda to continue to tank, to build themselves through the draft. And I think that taking on this loss is probably helpful for them as an organization, but getting wins against their old rivals is probably not something they wouldn't like to do as well, especially in their home court against those fans who hate us a lot more than we hate them, as usual. That's just how that goes. So I expect this to be a rabid Utah fan base. Maybe their team is ready for the All-Star break as well. Maybe we can catch them off guard. Maybe they've checked out, whatever the case may be. But we want to be on guard just in case that they're locked in, that we too be locked in as well. So that's my point of view on that. We already spoke on the injury report. The Utah Jazz will be wearing their blues tonight with their alternate floor. I think the floor looks nice. The Jazz, jerseys look pretty good. Old school throwback type of revamp thing. And we will be wearing our yellows tonight on the road. I think that'll look pretty nice. So that's what I got to say, man. It ain't too much to this one. I'm not overly excited, but I am extremely cautious. Anytime I go up against a team that's either undermanned or tanking, and I see that we have like 7 people on the injury report, I start thinking, yo, the Lakers may want to drop this game on purpose, and they may also regret it come the end of the season. I don't agree with that. I think we need to keep our foot on the gas. We're playing great ball on both sides of the floor, really, especially on the offensive end where we've scored over 120 points for 6 straight games. 6 straight games with over 120 points. Our offense is deadly, and it ain't getting no worse bringing in Luka Doncic. That's for damn sure. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. Like I said, this game's at 6 o'clock. We'll be ready for it. And, we're looking forward to the All-Star break, man. This is going to be an interesting All-Star game where they're going to break it up into 3 teams. I think Anthony Davis will not play. In fact, I'm certain he won't. They replaced him with Kyrie Irving. Of course, they replaced Giannis also with Trae Young. So it's going to be kind of tough without some of the bigger stars out there. No Luka as well. First All-Star game he hasn't been in a long time. Probably the last one he won't make for a long time as well. So, hopefully that gives him some rest this year. And, yeah, man, I think all in all, you got to love what the Lakers have been doing. We've won, 13 out of our last 14 games or something crazy like that? I mean, look at all these wins. Like, this is ridiculous how much winning we've been doing. You know what I mean? So we just got to keep it up. We're in 4th place. We've exceeded expectations upon our road trip that we just came out of and our homestand that came along with it. We've just been winning all the way through this thing, with the exception of that Philly game. And there should be no reason we drop this one. Not against a Utah team that is tanking at all. So that's really my point of view. Hopefully most of those guys who are day-to-day are playing, or game-time decisions are playing. Dalton Connect is expected to suit up tonight. I want to see what his body languages look like. I want to see how he plays. He's been struggling without a trade. You know what I mean? At times he didn't come out and play very well. We needed him to step up, and he was just nowhere to be found. I know his feelings were hurt. How does he react to that? Is he going to come out and play his best ball, be intentional, or is he going to be dragging around, moping around? We're going to find out about the character of this player, and that will determine how likely we feel he's going to be best for our future. I think a lot of people think he'll automatically be traded just based on the idea that he'll probably leave us in free agency off the strength of being traded just now. Maybe that's true. But whatever the case, he's going to have to prove himself worthy being in a win-now rotation right now at 23 years old. He ain't no young pup. Not for rookie standards. So it's incumbent upon him to put his big boy pants on. I understand this was hurtful, but damn it, you're not in Charlotte, you're in LA, and you need to play like it tonight. And starting tonight and for the rest of the season. I thought that you would be one of the Rookie of the Year candidates. I don't think you've had enough usage to do that, but even with the minutes given, you have underwhelmed, brother. And so I'm not of the mindset that we kick somebody when they're down, but I'm also of the mindset that we look a grown man in the eye and say, man up. And that's exactly what I'm saying to Dalton Connect. Let's man up, bro. Stop giving yourself excuses. Stop giving yourself passes. It ain't like you were playing great and earned so much and we traded you away like you Luka Doncic. No, we traded away a struggling rookie for a center for which we need. You gonna deny we need that damn center? No, you not. So don't get all in your feelings about us trading you away for him, because you were what was required and we did what we had to do. It wasn't personal. We wouldn't have just picked you out of a lineup and sent you away even though you're struggling. But that we need a damn center is not negotiable, brother. So that's really what it is. We trade away Anthony Davis, trade away D'Angelo Russell, we trade away Max Christie. We trade anybody away if it means bettering our team, bro, just like any other team would. So you ain't safe just because you go somewhere else. They're going to do the same thing to you, especially if you struggle, especially if they need something. So if you're looking for loyalty, you're going to find it somewhere else. You're not going to find it in the NBA like that. You may find it with these fans, but as far as this front office, it's what have you done for me now? And you better show up right now or they're going to send you out again. You're going to be hurt then too. So that's what I'm going to leave y'all with, man. I'm not here to coddle grown men, bro. Not at all. DDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.